Hi everyone, I'm Natalie.
And I'm Kat.
And welcome back to our channel.
Today we're going to be covering Inazuma Characters
And the general storyline,
Yeah.
and how it kind of relates to Japanese culture and history.
This one's exciting because I like Japanese history and
I love Genshin Impact.
yeah. I just started playing, but it's like I haven't gotten anywhere near there yet, so you're going to have a lot of insight there.
I have to teach her how to play because I just asked her, like, hey, like, how far have you gone in Genshin Impact? And she's like, oh, like, I just found out that if I want to revive, I have to eat, like, a fried egg. But, like, what do I do if I run out of the fried eggs?
Yeah, like, I only have 10 fried eggs.
You just make more. You cook more.
See, I didn't realize you could, like, I don't know like, how to cook, so.
Yeah, I'm going to have to teach her after this, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started with the characters. We're going to start with Yoimiya.
So, Yoimiya with the kanji that's given, I guess we'll put it here on the screen somewhere. Yoi actually means early night or evening. So that's like it's a time right after the sun sets, basically, that kind of period.
So around that time, like the early nighttime, is when a lot of Japanese people like to start doing fireworks.
Especially for like those Natsumatsuri, for the summer festivals, which apparently Yoimiya is in charge of. Like she does the fireworks for the summer festivals in Inazuma, right?
Yeah, and her whole entire character is kind of based around fireworks, and even her like elemental skill, it's all fireworks, which is pretty cool.
Miya, there's a lot of like names for that kanji, but the most important ones were that it can be like a shrine, or it can be a place where the imperial family lives. So in relations to who she is, I'm not really sure, but apparently she's referred to as Queen of the Summer Festival. So I mean, imperial, this might be a reach, but there's connections there. As well, though, Miya is very common in terms of like last names or names in general.
So it could just be like a coincidence.
Yeah. Another thing is in Japan, when they first started doing fireworks, one of the reasons, or like one of the origins of why they started, was to ward off like evil spirits. And I think they're used in a bunch of her attacks as well. So that's kind of a little parallel, I guess.
And just a side note, the dialogue for Yoimiya shows that she's from Kansai. So it's not really anything like related to Japanese culture, I think, or like anything that would tie into history, but just a side note for people who are curious.
It kind of really fits her character. Like I was watching the dialogue and the Kansai gun really fits her character.
It does, and her outfit.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very fitting. So good job on that.
Okay, next we have Ayaka.
Kamisato Ayaka.
Kamisato Ayaka.
So, Kamisato, the kanji that it's made up of, literally just means like God village. And the name Ayaka, with the kanji that they chose for her name, basically the Aya means a design, it's a specific fabric design, I guess. And then Ka is the word for flower, but it's the kind of, it gives you an image of a very full bloom flower. There's two kanjis for flower, I don't know why, but they chose the one where like the image is very like hanayaka.
Oh, yeah. Which is kind of cool because her like elemental skill, it's not a flower, it's a snowflake, but it's very like
Oh.
And also I'm not sure if this is actually related to like how they created her name or anything, but if you've played Genshin Impact and you've played her storyline, Ayaka's quest, the beginning of the quest I believe is a lot of like looking for fabric and her requesting a kimono. So maybe that does tie into the name, maybe it doesn't, but kind of interesting too.
So for this character, I don't know much about, I couldn't really find too much about Sayu. The kanji for Sayu, Sa, they use the kanji for like hayai, or early or quick. And then Yu, they use the kanji for like yuzu, the citrus fruit. And to be honest, I don't know how that relates, but I think she's the master of ninjutsu. So it could be like you have to be quick for all those ninjutsu techniques, but that's the only thing I could think of.
She's also a healer, so I'm not sure if that ties into anything, but yeah. So the next one is Kaedehara Kazuha. Everybody's favorite Kazuha.
Is it?
Well, like she recently came out and everybody's been going like off about it because he's a pretty good DPS. So
okay, so well the kanji for Kaedehara is basically, it's a combination of the kanji for maple or field and then origin. So it's like maple, Kaede is kind of like a maple leaf almost, that's like a type of maple leaf. So it's like, it's either leaf, maple leaf or field, and then origin. I don't know how that ties in. And then Kazuha, the kanji that they chose was 10,000 and then leaves, so 10,000 leaves.
And again, like I don't know if this really ties in. I actually do think this one probably does tie in, but it's interesting because his elemental skills are like little whirlwinds of leaves, And maybe we can kind of guess that like he has about 10,000 leaves that just kind of go around.
Maybe. So the actual storyline that I was reading about is actually really interesting and got my like history nerd side out because there's so many random parallels. And I used to study, like I majored in East Asian studies, so I studied a bunch of this stuff, and it was just really exciting to see actual history in like a really popular game.
So Inazuma itself, which is what the like city is named after, is basically just lightning. So we kind of already know that it's going to be an electro nation.
And so in Inazuma, there's an Inazuma Bakufu or a shogunate, and that parallels a lot with actual Japanese history in that in Japan between 1185 to I think it was 1868, there was a period where instead of the emperor ruling, they still had the emperor, but instead of the emperor ruling, the military government took over. And so they had an emperor, but he was only just like for show. And the military controlled everything between that time period. And that was called the shogunate or the bakufu.
It reminds me of Avatar.
Is it?
Yeah, did you watch Avatar last night?
I only the first bit.
There's like a part where they go to the city and basically like the emperor is like oblivious towards everything, and then the military is taking care of everything, very dictatorship, and like the emperor is just like nonchalant, like I don't know what's happening.
That's exactly Japan for a while.
So I guess a lot of like stories or like cartoons, animes like to go back to that. So Inazuma is actually under the Sakoku decree, which Japan actually had about 214 years ago. So the Tokugawa Bakufu closed Japan from the outside world, and similarly, like Japanese people couldn't really leave Japan either. So we can kind of see how that ties into the story with Inazuma too.
So similarly to how Inazuma, I think foreign nationals are typically banned from entering. That's exactly how Sakoku was in Japan as well. Foreign nationals were not allowed, or it was very strict, and there were only certain ports where they could do trades with certain nations. And so I think in Inazuma there's also certain ports where they accept certain people, right? So that's kind of a parallel that's very evident from the name and real history.
And it's also interesting, like in the storyline, before Inazuma came out, we kind of went through the whole storyline with like Beidou, and she was saying how it's really dangerous for people to just go to Inazuma by themselves because anytime they try to go, they're somehow just like transported back. So they can't really get there by any means other than the official boat to Inazuma. And this reminds me of how like Japan in the past, they just never got invaded because people who tried to invade Japan just got hit by typhoons and kind of just like weren't able to get in and just like went away. So
I feel like the Mongols, I think they tried to like come in, and then every time they tried, they got like, it wasn't even Japan really, it was just like natural elements attacking them, and so they couldn't like invade. It was just really funny when I learned about it, because it's just like, they probably could have defeated them like if it was just raw like battle, but no, they got like hit by natural elements.
Yeah, and that's kind of how they describe Inazuma too. It's like they don't say that like, oh, people will like battle you, like you can't get there. They literally just say it's very difficult for you to get there and pretty much like not possible, you know?
Another worthy mention of the parallels between history and the game are that Inazuma has a vision hunt degree, and that's kind of similar to how there's the katanagiri or the sword hunt orders that happen in Japan. I think it was under the Tokugawa shogunate.
So in the storyline, we see Baal, the Electro Archon, she kind of just seeks to confiscate visions for the statue of the god, which is kind of similar to in Japan, how they had the katanagiri, which is the sword hunt order, like we said. They kind of went around Japan to confiscate weapons and melt it into a Buddha statue. Like Genshin Impact Nihonyo definitely knows what they're doing with Japanese history, and yeah, like a lot of the storyline is very parallel to
It's really exciting that they took that much like history and kind of made it fit with the game. Yeah.
And they did it in a really interesting way too, with like kind of converting it to like elements, visions, but then like sword and like weapons and stuff. So
also the characters are super beautiful.
Yeah, the characters are so pretty. They do an incredible job with the art, like the costumes and everything, like the kimonos. It's so pretty.
I would love to like cosplay them. That would be so fun.
They also had, so in back to like Yoimiya, for example, they had like a little festival, like a summer festival event. In her story, and they actually gave us like one of those fox masks during the thing. They don't give it to you, but like while you're doing the quest, you're wearing it.
That's so cool.
It's so cute, and like she kind of shows us around through like what we do at summer festivals, like writing down, like drawing our wishes on like a plaque, or like giving us fortunes and stuff. So
A lot of Japanese culture packed in there.
Yeah, I love it.
I can't wait to get there. I'll help you.
I think she's been playing for like a couple weeks now, but she hasn't progressed at all.
No,
so.
because I play like maybe once a week.
Okay, well anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you liked the video. If you want to see any more Genshin Impact like storyline videos or anything related to Japanese history, let us know. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on post notifications.
Let us know what you'd like to see us do next.
Bye!